The daily digit is 1.74 million. That's how many existing single-family homes, condos, and co-ops were for sale around the U.S. in January.
In fact, many analysts say home prices will likely decline, and more mortgage delinquencies may be in store for 2008 as the housing market begins its very slow turn to recovery.
The housing crash, there's so many reasons behind it and so many fingers can be pointed. I can point one at myself.
I've been doing this for over 30 years. And watching from where I came from, the training that I actually had, the loan officers, you could be a bartender one day and then become a loan officer the next day. And there was no training. The bank industry was making loans to people that shouldn't have gotten loans and giving them to people that are making 30 grand on a $500,000 property because the payment worked. That was wrong.
The blame game can go on forever, or we can all just say, look, we all played a role in some way, shape, or form, and we all need to learn from that. What can we do to fix it now? My next opportunity fell into my lap almost immediately. I'd been writing a daily newsletter. I was blasting it out to an email list and it was being forwarded around. I happened to come across a website that had similar commentary and I contacted them. I started contributing, and within a year, a gentleman named Matthew Graham and I had built a community of around 70,000 mortgage professionals. Matt and I came up with the service, MBS Live. It's a dashboard with live market data, some news, and live chat.
Adam called one day, and Adam was with Mortgage News Daily, and Adam was looking for content for their blog. They were looking to build a product. So we started talking, and he did sign up for the product we had then was 3,000 extra. And I realized very quickly, wow, Adam is someone I really need to attach myself to because he knows this market really well.
Michael scheduled a trip to come to Maryland. He came and visited me in my attic office. I showed him the screens that I had built using 3000 Extra. We described our community concepts and how we wrote commentary, the people that we were looking to reach and what our overall approach was. He was really interested, and he asked me how I thought we could bridge that community that's within the primary market to the secondary market. And I immediately pointed out to him that Thomson Reuters owns TradeWeb. TradeWeb is the benchmark for mortgage trading, not just in the US, but around the world. So Michael's eyes perked up there, and he got excited because he realized that there was an opportunity to sell into this mid-tier lender customer who was not necessarily being sold into right now.
Even before Adam came on board to Thomson Reuters, Adam had a vision to restore investor confidence in mortgages. He knew exactly what needed to be done to accomplish that, and he sold me on that vision, and so I was very supportive of him starting here at Thomson Reuters.
So when Adam joined, he was product manager as well. Adam and I started to collaborate on a new analytics solution for mortgages. I introduced him to Kevin, who was starting to look at more analytics and solution. His idea of technology, Elasticsearch, streaming on servers and ingestion of data, the whole idea brought together Homestead project, and that's when we started really to collaborate.
And when Adam approached me describing what kind of challenge this industry is facing, and what kind of opportunity we could actually grab and also really build up something on top of what we are doing right now within Icon and also within the analytics platform.
What it really does, and what our main goal with all this Icon and mortgage and homestead product, is to centralize all the information for all the mortgage bankers and brokers out there who they don't have enough technical support to do it on their own. So we'll bring everybody to one central point, which is Thomson Reuters. From the well, they can draw the information they need to price risk, do risk management, compliance, be accountable to Fannie and Freddie, the GSEs, and ultimately to look to maybe in the future of the mortgage market, there's going to be a single security that's a public-private partnership, the ideal being that the government's not on the hook for the whole housing market.
At the time, Thomson Reuters was leveraging acquisitions to grow the business. So we put forth an acquisition case. For a year, we worked to bring this case forward. We got executive support. We got all the way into due diligence and had funding secured, and then Thomson Reuters decided it was time to reorganize. We would focus on transforming the company through organic investment. Homestead was dead, almost overnight.
A lot happened in the first 2 years, but it was really it was an email that I got. The email was about the launch of this innovation fund at Thomson Reuters. I looked up Carrie Birch, and I was like, whoa, this guy has like 150 contacts in common with me, and they're not Thomson Reuters people. So that I was like, oh, he must be a mortgage person. He has to be, because 95% of my contacts are in the mortgage industry on LinkedIn.
So when Michael asked about my background, I was quite surprised. Why would someone ask me specifically about my mortgage background? And from what he tells me, he looked at my LinkedIn profile and had saw that I had this experience, and it was very, very valuable to him and in his efforts to sell Icon to mortgage bankers. So the Catalyst Fund, Neil Masterson and Jim Smith came up with the idea of putting together a fund that was sponsored by the top executives within the company, and that entrepreneurs and innovators within the company would pitch their ideas. First round, they could get $100,000, up to $100,000 of funding from the corporation to go out and prove their idea or create a proof of concept. And if they were successful, they would come back and they would ask for up to $250,000, which is half funded by the corporation, and the other half would be funded by the business. So after hearing the idea, the question is what do we do with it? And you have to remember at that time, the Catalyst Fund was not established and it was not rolled out to the organization. So as it was being evolved, I had always thought that this would be something that should go to the Catalyst Fund and come back to get the attention it needs. And so after speaking with Adam, and we spoke many, many hours, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to personally sponsor the idea. I was not afraid to put my name on it, and I was not afraid to take the risk, because I know the potential and the impact that it will have to the industry. All along, you need to have a business sponsor, somebody with a P&L who would back you and support you. So although I was not a P&L owner, I was putting my name in my sponsorship, but we needed to find other people out there who would sponsor the idea. And this is where Philip Britton came into play, and also Abel Clark.
I think the process that Adam and the whole team on Homestead have pursued has been perfect. I mean, I really think it's a template for how this kind of thing should be done. When they first sat down with me, it was very conceptual, a lot of, waving, hands in the air, business case written out. From that point, you worked with Kevin and team, and they, carved out a couple of developers to build a minimum viable prototype, just enough to be able to put in front of customers and bring the idea to life. Adam held this event for customers, which is fantastic, an early validation event. Got the customers in the room, presented the idea, got them to participate, and they had the prototype there. So customers could actually see what they were talking about, what did it mean in terms of working software, as well as some mock-ups of where it could go from there.
The idea for the event came pretty easily. Preparing for the event, not easy. We had a very short period of time, and we had to do it right. We couldn't embarrass ourselves. We're talking about restoring trust in one of the biggest bond markets in the world. I get there, and it was just like everything that we had worked for was coming to a realization. I was right where I needed to be.
It's been a long, long time where I think there's been a lot of good vendors who have thrown individual solutions at the business that addressed one piece of it, but no one has stepped back and from a holistic point said, how do I capture the mortgage from the very beginning to the very end? So this is a historic moment for us. It's a big deal.
With creating, first of all, transparency, a very modular structure of the various functions which need to be performed, right from the origination of a mortgage loan up to its ultimate funding. And the way Thomson Reuters has broken up some of those components and tackled those very important issues which the industry is struggling with is, I think, is absolutely essential at this point.
Thomson Reuters' ability to address these issues in the industry is, I think, at the forefront of what I believe a leader in this industry needs to do, and I think it's important to have someone like Thomson Reuters involved in this.
So I think the biggest thing that Thomson Reuters can do to help Adam and the Homestead team is to provide them the context to be successful in it. They have a great vision, very, very close customer relationships and customer understanding, and passion and energy in the team. And those are some of the key ingredients for a successful new business initiative. I think the role of Thomson Reuters and for senior leadership in the firm is to provide the context to be successful. to provide support, to provide guidance, to provide encouragement, but also, to provide enough oxygen to thrive, to provide an environment where they can try things.
When we went back to the Catalyst Fund to present the findings of our proof of concepts, I was a little bit overwhelmed by how positive the feedback was on our customer events. I was surprised that everyone thought it was such a great idea, because for us it was basic, straightforward, right thing to do. That's really for us what got us the next round of funding. The fact that we had brought customers in and gotten their feedback and they validated our vision. So we came out of that meeting pretty quickly with our next $250,000 and went right to work on the prototype.